Hi, everybody. Yehuda Shamroth here of RBS Acupuncture in Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel. I've been a nurse anesthetist for 40 years and then became very concerned that we weren't offering enough kind of alternative healing to our patients. So I went into the field myself, and now I combine Western medicine with Eastern medicine, and I try to also get into all kinds of ways to recommend people for healthy eating. My latest, besides nutritional counseling and acupuncture and herbal medicine, is I'm learning a course now on intermittent fasting, and I really am a big believer in it. I feel like it's changed my life completely. And I tried it for a long time and I wasn't losing weight. That's what my motivation. And I felt like I wasn't really working because I wasn't doing it right. So that's why I went into it as a counselor myself. I'm almost finished with the course. I will let you know when I'm finished, but in the meantime, I can share the wealth of knowledge that I am learning right now with you all. And not too many people, nobody's on this webinar yet. It's okay because I really, I wasn't expecting people to get on in the middle of the day, but I did have people tell me that they couldn't get on in the evening. So I thought, let me try a daytime one. Anyway, what can we do with intermittent fasting? Okay, what is intermittent fasting? We talked about this on the last webinar. There's some people call it restrictive eating within a certain window. One of the problems I had with my own self was that I was not restricting myself enough of a window, and I also was eating the wrong foods in that window. So one of the things a counselor or a coach like myself will help you do is find your eating window that's best for you according to your age, according to your habits, according to your likes and dislikes and other factors. But you can reduce hunger and your cravings and your belly fat even and all that. And not only that, you can also heal your body. The longer someone fasts, the body has a chance to repair itself on a cellular level, kicks out all the toxins, gets rid of all the stuff it doesn't need, just like when you're moving and you pack up the house and you think, oh, I don't need this anymore and I don't need that anymore. When there's no glucose coming into the system or no in those windows of where you're not eating, the body says, okay, let's get in house cleaning mode. And it cleans the cells at a very deep level to get rid of the stuff it doesn't need. And your body functions a whole lot better. And the longer you fast into like even more like 24 hours, which I do once a week, the body will start to do some real serious repair work. And people feel so much better, not only lose weight, but you can also repair. You can feel better from arthritis and feel better from irritable bowel syndrome and headaches and all kinds of things because the body isn't fighting all the time, trying to digest using all of its resources for digestion. It's using its resources for cleaning up and doing repair of tissues as well. Um, One of the main reasons so many people fail at intermittent fasting is because they can sometimes fast too long, and they don't use the right windows, and they don't cut the right food groups, so they cut too many food groups out, and it shocks the body. It does. So you can have a smooth transition to intermittent fasting, but it's one of these things you must know a lot about, which is why it's important to have a coach. And actually the topic of my webinar today is not really how to do intermittent fasting. We did that last time, but I do want to talk about motivation for even changing your lifestyle. That's what my webinar is today, motivation for changing your lifestyle. And because otherwise people rush into intermittent fasting and they fail a lot of times. They say, my family members all tell me that I tried this and it backfired. I mean, I gained weight or I didn't lose any weight at all. And I'm really following this, eating window. But if you're not doing it carefully, if you're not understanding the scientific research behind it, and it's not that complicated, truthfully. You just need a couple tips. And then you can learn to control what you're eating, how you're eating, and the body does get used to eating less. So that's what right by itself, you don't eat while you're sleeping. So that's already giving your body a break. So if you just extend it for a few hours in the beginning and the end of the day, you're really giving yourself a lot more chance to lose weight and also repair your body at a cellular level. So I want to talk more about the fasting if I have time. But I will right now just launch into the topic that I really wanted to speak about today, which is based on a book I read called Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits is a book that was written about how many pointers you can give yourself to change your lifestyle and include good habits in your life and get rid of bad habits. And Atomic Habits, I have the author here. I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, James Clear. James Clear is the author, and the book is big and it's very in depth, but just three salient points that I thought were really applicable to changing one's health journey and health your ability to motivate yourself to understand why you would want to do something like intermittent fasting or how you can do it. You know, lifestyle changes are very difficult, I find, as I get older. And I feel like a lot of people feel like it's going to be too hard. I just can't do this. And I can't not eat in the morning, or I can't not have my favorite foods at night, or I can't. And the whole thing is not eliminating things completely from your diet. It's not that, but you do have to make a decision. Are you going to do this, and are you not going to do this? So the atomic habits, that there were 3 points that he brought up, and I wrote this on my blog this week. And if you don't ever read the book, you don't have to. It's a really good book, though I do recommend it. But I want you to learn everything about intermittent fasting and what foods to eat and what's a good window for you. And I hope you contact me separately. But beyond the fact that we want you as a healthcare professional, I say we because I'm part of the healthcare team of this world. I want you to know that the behavioral change, it takes a lot of work. And that's what the biggest thing that I had to overcome was behavioral changes. And I didn't want to change certain things about I went to therapy about this for a while, thinking, well, why don't I want to stop eating at night, for instance? That was one of my big problems, having a couple glasses of wine, and then you have a couple glasses of wine. You deserve that. You've had a very hard day, Yehudis. You work hard, you take care of people, you take care of everyone. And here's your chance to have a couple glasses of wine and just zone out and watch Dr. Phil or something at night, or a good webinar, a good movie. And then what happens is when you do something like that, when I was doing something like that, I was really any goal that I had in mind for losing weight went out the window because I didn't care. I really didn't care because the alcohol changes the way you think. It makes you feel like, well, it's not what could be so harmful about having, have a bag of potato chips or something while you're relaxing at night, or even some cheese, or even some leftovers from dinner that are very healthy foods. While eating at night was what did it, packed on the pounds for me over many years, and it really took me a long time to stop that. So behavior change was something I had to emphasize to myself. It's the way to change your habits, change your behavior. It's really very difficult. But let's go through the 3 takeaways from this book. And you don't have to read it, like I said, but here's one. The first takeaway is that small lifestyle changes compound over a period of time. So many of us think that we want to change something, we can just do it. I want to lose 20 pounds right now. I just want to lose 20 pounds and I can do it. So let's write that down. No, you can't. That's not enough to set the goal for I want to. That's very good to start. But what happens very quickly is that you get busy with your day. And if you don't put that plan into action or actually make plans for it and set yourself up for success, you probably you won't lose that 20 pounds. So what you want to focus here is a lifestyle change. You have to get into, if you want to do fasting, let's say, fasting consistently, you have to really get started and stick to the rules very closely, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, you have to say, I'm very, very strict. There's a Rambam out there that I know. Rambam was a doctor, a physician, and he was very big into health. And he was always say, go to the extreme first, and anything you want to change, whether it's learning Torah or whether it's changing your health habits, and then come back to the middle when you're ready. But you might have to be strict for a while. And people don't like that idea. They don't want to be strict. But you have to realize if you're going to turn that switch on for fat burning and getting yourself into an intermittent fasting lifestyle, you have to get your head into the game, as they say at the basketball court. Get your head into the game. So if that means going to therapy or means discussing it with a coach or writing yourself lots of notes every single day, I am doing intermittent fasting today. It's actually not a silly thing to do. I heard that as a recommendation from one of my own coaches that I've been studying with. She said she tells her clients to write yourself a note every day that you can see, a post-it note, a big one on the refrigerator or on your dashboard of your car or whatever, kitchen cabinets, your computer, wherever you are all the time. I am fasting today, because you have to really ingrain that habit in your head. And if you make those small changes, they do accumulate over time. It really does work. And these changes are very significant over time. They're not so small. So in order to be better at something, in order to reach your goal, you can't expect it just to happen. You have to make that commitment that it's going to happen. And you want to set yourself up for success. It's like anything in life. If you want your children to go to a top-notch school, you have to make sure that they're prepared for it. Make sure you have tutors for them. Make sure that they have the right summer reading materials or whatever. Get them prepared, because you don't want to send somebody to a program that they're not going to be able to manage to do. You wouldn't do that to your own children. You're not going to do that to yourself when it comes to changing your lifestyle. So you can make these little tiny gains, and you can say, okay, I did it for 3 days in a row. That's great. That's a small change. I'm going to change just maybe don't even change the way you're eating right away, but change the window you're eating, say from 12 noon till 8 o'clock at night. I'm just going to eat during those hours. And if you just do that for a week, that's already making a significant change. It might seem small to you, but it's very significant and it will stick. Okay, the next big takeaway, this is what Spencer says. He says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fail to the level of your systems. Wow, what does that mean? That means your system is not in place, is what I was saying before. You have to set yourself up for a successful goal, or a realistic and successful. So if you want to lose 25, 45 pounds, actually just recently, since December, I just lost like 40 pounds. And again, what you want to do with that is besides reminding yourself every day and setting yourself for success and getting the bad foods out of the house, and talking to coaches and experts. So you want to set yourself up for the goal and you want to work to meet that goal. Okay. And the only way to accomplish it is to put a system in place. That means, like, if you are really used to going out all the time for dinner, again, for 2 weeks to a month, don't go out. Don't go out for dinner. If you are with people who are negative about what you're doing, saying, "Oh, what are you doing such a silly thing for? It's not good. It didn't work for me. It was a dangerous thing." Stay away from those people. You have to surround yourself with people who are going to accomplish, get you to accomplish your goal by congratulating you and encouraging you to do what you're doing. So surround yourself. It doesn't have to be a coach. It can be your girlfriend, your husband, your kids, whoever is going to pat you on the back and say, you are doing a great thing for yourself. You're really looking after your health. So you want to make sure you can clear your house of all the stuff that's bad for you. You want to make sure you get enough rest also. That's the one thing I had written over here, is that here's what happens when people go rushing into intermittent fasting. They don't make a plan. You have to make a plan and you have to stick to it. Let me see. I want to see where I wrote this. Okay, one of the things that can make an intermittent fasting or any diet plan fail: irregular or poor sleep patterns, too many processed foods, overeating during your window, too much stress. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to try to put systems into place to fix these problems. Get yourself to sleep earlier, drink a lot more water, get rid of the processed foods in your house. These are setting yourself up for success. So first and foremost, you want to make that goal and set a realistic goal, and you want to make small changes and they stick. That's number one. Number two, you want to put systems into place so you can really be successful as you can be. Because we're going to fail sometimes and we're going to feel discouraged and we're going to make sure, we're not always going to be successful. And again, I always tell my friends this that are listening to my programming and my people who ask me for advice. You're not here to torture yourself. If you are at a wedding or if you're at someone's home for a Shabbat meal or some kind of dinner or something, if you want a piece of chocolate or you want a piece of cake, have a piece of cake, but don't pile the plate like you used to do. I'm thinking of myself, actually. I used to go to these wonderful smorgasbord, they call them at weddings. And I would love to just pile on all the different things and I would just eat so much of it because it was yummy and I was hungry already. I would always come hungry. Another trick that you would try to go to a wedding and try to eat before you go. Wow, that's a real big one. But I don't always have time to do that. But that would be a system change. And that would be a small change. It's like, have a couple glasses of water and maybe some tuna fish or something, or a couple of hard-boiled eggs before you go to that wedding. Okay. And then you're not so starving. So that's a small, significant change. And that would be also a system put into place all at the same time. Okay, one of the challenges about setting goals and wanting something is really important to us that many of us still work under the kind of erroneous belief that it's about having ambition. This is what he says in his book, and putting in hard work, and automatically goals will happen. That's not true. Not hard work and goal. It's going back to the first takeaway: small steps every day. Small steps every day. So the final takeaway of all of his suggestions is that you might have heard this before, that the habits don't stick unless we alter our identities. Now, what does that mean? To alter your identity. So if you could always identify yourself as I'm a loser, and I'm a fat person, and I'm never going to be thin, or I'm never going to be healthy, my blood pressure is never going to come down, I'm going to stick to all these medicines, I have to keep running to the doctor. That's your identity of an unwell person. It's really hard to do, but this is the mindset change that might take some mindfulness. It might take some therapy. It might take some listening to webinars on relaxation techniques, deep breathing techniques. I was never so into these things, but I'm really starting to realize over the years that you have to stop and put it in your mind and take some deep breaths and try to internalize any change you want to make. And you have to keep doing it over and over, okay? And if you want to identify yourself as, it's a joke in our family, I identify as a rich and thin person. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. But you have to put that in your mind. I'm going to identify as a healthy and thin person and a physically fit person. And in fact, when people ask me, wow, what did you lose? You lost so much weight. What are you doing? I said, I'm taking better care of myself now. That's my answer. I am taking better care of myself. And that's the truth. I am taking better care of myself. And I'm identifying as that person, as a person who's taking better care of herself now. And that is who I am now. And it's not what I used to be or what I will be in the future, you know. Um, I right now, I mean, I look at my pictures of myself when my kids got married and I'm like, oh my God, I want to Photoshop myself right out of those pictures because I was 3 times the size. And I just, why couldn't I have done this for their weddings? Why are we doing it now when they've all been married off? Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was then, this is now. And I have lost the weight now and I look better in photographs, obviously. And I look at myself and I think I'm happier what I see also. And I know that I'm doing myself a really big service. So you want to identify as an intermittent faster, you got to do that too. So you can still go to weddings and you can still go out to dinner with friends and you can say, what can I do here? You don't want to go in there and say, oh, I can't do this because I'm intermittent fasting. You have to try to rearrange things. So maybe if you're eating windows from 12 to 8 every day, make it 1 to 9, or I mean, or whatever you can do to fit into that time frame of meeting with somebody, and then choose the foods that you can do that you know you can get away with the best. So don't order the big pasta dishes. Okay, get a salad. Get a salad with tuna fish on it. I do pretty much my staple. I go to restaurants all the time with my kids and my husband, and I get a huge salad, and I get tuna fish on it, or eggs, or some kind of protein, eggs on it, or cheese on it, or chicken if I'm in a meat restaurant. You know, you can, it's delicious and I love it. And I'm not eating any of the breads on the sides, and I don't feel deprived and I don't feel like I'm angry because everybody else is eating good stuff. Every now and then I will cheat for sure because, you know, I'm only human. So this is what I wanted to talk about today were the 3 different things. So you want to be more physically active too. Let's just say one of the things we have to change. And I have started to do some exercise videos over the last few months that I really love, Leslie Sansone. I love you. I don't even know where you are in the world right now, but she's this adorable woman who gets you very excited about doing a 20 or 30-minute walking video and talking video, and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're moving your legs. And before you know it, 20 or 30 minutes are up and you really use your calories. And you walk 3 miles out of, I don't know how she does it, but she says it was a 3-mile walk. And I try to do that every day. I also have to build up my muscle some more. I know my doctors are telling me I have a little blood pressure problem. He says, just do some more muscle training for yourself. I'm going to work on that as well. So, okay, the takeaway from today, of course, is to get yourself motivated. We can't do anything about intermittent fasting until you get it into your head. Realize making small changes make a huge impact just by getting rid of your processed food and going to bed early and drinking a lot more water. Those are small changes, but they're going to add up over time. That's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is to set yourself up for success. Give yourself some systems to work in because you're going to rise to your system. You rise to whatever your system is, or you're going to fail to whatever your system is not. If you don't have systems, you're going to go down in a way that's not pleasant, and you're not going to be happy, and you'll feel unsuccessful. You're free to call me anytime you want, by the way, and I'll be your cheerleader. So I can help recommend, if we eating windows, I can help recommend systems to put in place. And the third takeaway would be, of course, to make sure you identify as a person who wants to be healthy now, who wants to change their lifestyle. And I used to think that was a bunch of like kind of hooey, like, oh, meditation and all. No, it's really important in order to get yourself to implement any kind of diet or lifestyle change. People hate the word diet, but let's face it, that's what it is. It's a diet. But you know what? You can do this for life. This is what's so amazing about intermittent fasting, I think. So I can see myself doing this the rest of my life. And I never could see any other diet that was sustainable. They use the word sustainable in every healthcare plan now. I think this is sustainable for me, certainly. And I can help you do this because I'm studying to be a coach. Because I'll tell you what, if you do dieting, if you do even intermittent fasting of 8 hours a day, of only of eating window of 8 or 6 hours a day, you will see a serious energy boost. You will feel really good. You'll be regular bowel movements for the first time in years. You will have pretty much zero sugar cravings if you do it right. Your skin and hair will look better and youthful, and you will feel calm and relaxed, and your pain will be reduced, and your bloating will go down. It'll be everything you'd want, even if you don't lose a ton of weight, but you probably do that too. So if you have any questions, Yehuda Shamroth, RBS Acupuncture, 0545916673, or you can contact me on WhatsApp if you're on WhatsApp with me, or you can contact me on Facebook. I'm RBS Acupuncture on Facebook, and also Yehuda Shamroth. So without further ado, I'll say goodbye and have a wonderful afternoon. And I'd love to hear from all of you to see if you'd like to participate in some coaching online. Right now, I can't charge you because I'm still a student. So you should take advantage of that. Take care.